Hi YouTube, Watchify here with another video. In this one I wanted to go over some new watch models from Seiko and Orient that I recently learned of, and I'll provide my opinion on them. First up are four new Orient Mako automatics. The Mako 2 has long been considered a value-orientated entry-level diver. They can still be found for sale on Amazon for close to 150 US dollars. I never owned one, but I once owned the very similar Ray 2, which is essentially the same case and dimensions as the Mako 2, with the main differences being the Arabic numerals on the Mako and the different font on the bezel insert. The original Mako 2 is a 41.5 millimeter 200 meter water resistant diver with a screw down crown and screw down case back, great loom, and an Orient F6922 automatic movement, and it also has a mineral crystal. These new Makos come in four new colorways and now have an updated sapphire crystal. I tried to spot some other differences between the old and new models, and according to Orient's website, these new watches have a slightly bigger case size of 41.8 millimeters. I also noticed the wording on the lower half of the dial is now water resistant 20 bar instead of the previous water resist 200 meters. The bracelets look identical and still have hollow end links and pressed fold over clasps. The shape of the hands also remains the same, and the movement caliber F6922 remains. This refresh is basically the same thing Orient did with the Ray 2, except there they added some gradient dials and a patinaed loom. Now that that's out of the way, let me dig into each new Mako model. Probably my favorite is the ivory dialed version with what looks like a dark brown bezel insert, with the first quarter segment being a lighter brown. The second hand arrow looks to be a dark orange, and this color scheme goes well together in my opinion. Next, and probably my second favorite, is the muted gray or pewter colored version. This one stands out amongst the four because it has gold colored hands and indice outlines. There's less of a notable color difference on the bezel insert, as it looks like they're trying to match the dial color more so than the other three models. Then there's a blue dialed model with a teal 1 through 15 segment on the insert. The blue on the dial appears to be a greenish blue, and the second hand arrow tip here is yellow. And lastly, there's a reddish orange dialed version with a dark beige and deep red bezel insert, and a light orange second hand arrow tip. Red dialed watches are not really my thing, but I can appreciate Orient's attempt here. So that's it for the new Orient Makos. One could say this is a lazy effort by basically releasing the same watch but with a sapphire crystal in different colorways. But overall, I think it's good to have more choice within a popular model. The important question will be, what price will these be? These new models are not on the Orient USA website, but if the refreshed Ray 2 is any indication, these new Makos may retail for $350 also. That would mean you would eventually see them on sale on Amazon for under $250, which would be a good price. I may even sell my Komatsu and pick up the ivory dialed version. As for some new Seikos, I see that they've released some Solar GMT Sumo models, one of which is this green dialed version SFK003 that I think will be really popular. I guess I'm not surprised Seiko came out with a Solar Sumo, as they previously released a Solar Chronograph Sumo with the model SSC807. Other colorways are all black with red GMT hand, blue with orange GMT, and a Pepsi colorway with a red GMT hand. There's an interesting pattern on the dial, and you can see the chapter rings have a lighter and a darker half. Our minute hand shape remained the same as the automatic Sumo, but the second hand has been simplified to the SKX style, no doubt in order to not draw attention away from the GMT hand. These come with sapphire crystals, a Seiko 5K65 solar movement, And I can see them for sale from sellers on eBay right now for around $600. This is around $150 less than what automatic movement Sumos are selling for on Amazon. These new Solar Sumo GMTs are a pass for me though. I already own a black automatic Sumo and it's a rather large and hefty watch. From what I can tell, these new GMT Sumos are still 45 millimeters in case size, are a little thicker at 13.2 millimeters, but have a slightly smaller lug-to-lug distance of 51.8 millimeters as opposed to 52.6. And to throw in another interesting newer release, I found the special edition SRPJ 35, which is a turtle with a fun blue and green colorway against a black dial. Not really a watch that appeals to me visually, but it's always nice to see another turtle colorway to add to the multitude that already exists. And if you're interested in a GMT automatic diver, Seiko's got you covered with these new 1968 divers modern reinterpretation models that are set to release later this year. There's a clean looking black dialed SPB 383. The SPB 381 is the classic green version, and there is a limited edition ice blue dialed model, which is the SPB 385. Starting off at $1,500 retail for the black and green models and $1,700 for the limited edition. These watches have higher end specs, as you might imagine. They have sapphire crystals, ceramic bezel inserts, a higher level of case finishing, and most notably a decorated 6R54 automatic GMT movement that has 72 hours of power reserve. Other than on Grand Seikos, it's the first time I've seen the power reserve days text on the dial. As I was prepping for this video, I kept coming across new Seiko models that were recently announced or are upcoming. One being a 36mm version of their field watch Seiko 5 Sports SRPJ. These newer SRPJ models are identical to the 39mm SRPJs, except for the smaller case size. So they still have a Hardlex crystal, 100 meters of water resistance, and an automatic 4R36 movement. I own the black dialed SRPJ 27, and I find the 39mm size to be just right for this watch on my wrist. So I won't be interested in the 36mm version, but I can see people with smaller wrists being interested in these. There are also two 36mm SRPH pilot style variants, those being the champagne dialed SRPJ 87 and the green dialed SRPJ 89. And finally, scheduled to be released in April of 2023 are four Seiko 5 Sports 5KX designs that received the most votes during last year's 55th anniversary customized campaign. These four limited edition models will have model names starting with SRPK and will have a retail price of $325. The Asia winner was this rose gold and red SRPK 08. The Americas winner was the black with gold accents SRPK 05. The European winner was an orange dialed SRPK 07. And the Japan winner was a silver dialed model with red second hand SRPK 03. You can notice three of the four don't have the standard 5KX bezel insert design, and these will come with a commemorative caseback. Models will be limited to 1,968 pieces each. To me, these seem like safe choices in terms of design. I say that because I remember seeing some designs that were much more outside the box and interesting visually, but I guess those didn't receive enough votes. None of these four really interest me, but if I had to pick one that I like the most, for example, I think it would be the silver dialed version. The watches I went over are not on the Orient USA or Seiko USA websites yet. The new Makos can be found on the Orient Global site, and the new Seikos I only found on either the Seiko Australia or UK sites, at least at the time that I was researching this for this video. So Seiko keeps churning out new models, and now it seems like Orient is starting to follow suit. I only wish Orient would do more with their dials, pattern and texture wise. I feel that there was a missed opportunity with these new Makos, but maybe there'll be some more variants to come. That's going to be it for this video. If you found it interesting, feel free to leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. I of course wanted to thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in another video.